right, guys, we're live. We're recording.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I actually upon getting these these Sony cameras, I realized that once I actually got them, there was a 30-minute recording limit on both of the A7 2Ss that we're using. We're also using an A7S3. They took off the recording limit at that. It's about 13 hours. So I had to actually hack two of the cameras to eliminate the recording limit. And I did this literally last minute. I think I hacked the second one yesterday, midday. Oh, I forgot. One more camera to do. Boom. And it's fairly simple to do. I call it hacking because it's literally connected to a computer that's a program and it seems like it's cool. Um, but that's what happened there. So we finally got everything set up, and I think it's safe to say. Let's get it started.
Yep,
Right.
yep, yep. Go ahead. All right, we starting with the intro?
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to our first podcast.
Yeah.
My name is Michael, and
Hi.
I am your host. And our other hosts, Amr,
Hey guys.
Samir,
Hey.
and our moderator, Akshay.
Hello, hello.
All right, guys. We're going to have a little bit of fun here. This is our first podcast, and this has been something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Hey, Akshay, can you put down the music a little bit? Thanks, brother. All right. So, obviously, we have no expectations here, and this is all brand new to us, and I want this to be a very fluid conversation. It's like we're going to a bar and having drinks. Yes, we have thousands, potentially millions of people watching us right now. Probably not now, but maybe in 5 years. Yeah.
Maybe sooner.
Maybe sooner. We'll see what happens.
Get that cloud up.
But yeah, this has been an idea that me and Samir have had for the past 6 months or so, and I'll give you a quick rundown on what our intentions are with this podcast, what we actually do in our lives connected to this business, and what we're going to be talking about today. And we'll probably finish it up with some fun trivia, tech related. Now, what is this podcast about? It's going to be anything tech related. So we're going to run through different types of topics such as Apple, Samsung, Android, EV, even AI related, such as ChatGPT and stuff like that. And we're going to try to keep you guys up to date with the latest and greatest tech news on a weekly basis. So, what do we do in our business right now? We're currently operating an electronic wholesale business where we buy and sell high-end electronics. Anything from Apple, Samsung, Google, high-end cameras, drones, DJI. What else do we do? So many things.
Cameras.
Yeah, cameras I mentioned.
Lenses.
Lenses, anything camera related.
Anything
Dyson.
electronic, yeah.
Dyson. So we're pretty much all over the place when it comes to tech. So we have a good general idea of what we're talking about because we get hands-on experience. And we wanted to create a podcast where we can kind of talk about the product that we get in and also talk about future leaks or current leaks, whatever you want to call it, and give people a good opinion on what we actually think about the product that we're selling. Now, that's that. What is our company called? Our company is called Flipaforum. What is this podcast called? We called it Flipaforum. We thought it would be a cool little spin-off of our company name, and we didn't want to have a direct link to the actual company because we wanted this to be something a little bit more special. But without further ado, I'd like to properly introduce our guests here. Firstly, I'd like to introduce my business partner. His name is Samir, and you can. Would you like to say something?
Hi, my name is Samir.
Yeah,
Just kidding. I am Michael's business partner. We have been working together diligently for the last, I would say, almost 6 years. We started with just the two of us now, and our business has grown exponentially. And I think it was the right time for us to start this podcast and let people know, what we're all about. So that's what we're doing.
And I'd also like to introduce one of our very good clients and also now a very good friend. He goes by the name of Umar. He's been our client probably for the past 3 years. And before we started this podcast, we always knew that we needed one extra person, you know, bring a little bit more substance to the conversation. And the first person that I thought of was Umar. And Umar is so passionate about tech, mainly anything mobile related, iPhones, Samsungs. This guy wants to have the greatest and latest tech right away, as soon as it comes out. You know what? Before it comes out, he's gonna have it. I don't know how he does it, but he's gonna have it. So, Amr,
Thank you, Mike. My name is Omar. I've got a background in tech. You can say I work for a telecommunications company here in Canada. I've been buying and selling phones since I guess 2001, 2002. So I'm gonna say 20 years doing this. Just stumbled across Mike's store 3 years ago. We really clicked. He understood my mindset of how I operate and how quickly my thinking process changes. So it's been fun, and I'm really excited to be here. So thank you, Mike, for having me.
thank you, Amr.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate you having here. And lastly, I'd like to introduce our moderator, a very, very important figure here in this podcast. He's the guy that's gonna be controlling everything behind the scenes, and we give a lot of respect to his work. So,
you.
Akshay, introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Akshay. I'm actually the son of Samir, and I've watched this business grow. I've been kind of looking in from the outside. I've watched this business grow from they used to work at Second Cup and all the way to now where we have a whole warehouse and we are doing well and running a very successful business. So
Yep. So this is a great big day for us. You know, this is a next step in growing our business. And
Exactly.
I'll be honest with everybody, this is something that's very uncomfortable personally for me, being in front of cameras. I'm not somebody that likes to be in the limelight or whatever you want to call it, social media and stuff like that. But I thought it would be important for me to step out of my comfort zone and try something new and see where we can take this. So bear with us. This is our first podcast. You know, mistakes are going to happen, but we're going to try our best to constantly improve. And I guarantee you, if you guys stick with us, you guys will be more than satisfied and will exceed your expectations. All right, without further ado, let's get right into it, okay, guys? So today we're going to be talking about the big event next week. What is next week? We got Apple's WWDC 23. We're going to be covering some of the leaks and confirmations on what Apple will be releasing next week. So, one of the
Just
top
a quick question, Mike, for people who don't know, what does WWDC stand for?
WWDC. Let's bring it up, huh? WWDC.
Worldwide Developers Conference
Exactly.
2023.
WWDC Worldwide Developers Conference 2023.
Don't get it confused, guys.
No problem at all.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay. What are some of the things that Apple is going to be talking about?
I can pull up a article on basically what is going to be released.
Sure.
at
Let's do that. That'll be
WWDC.
great. Let's
Okay,
pull it up.
perfect.
Historically, WWDC has always been about the next best software that Apple is about to launch in the September event.
Mhm.
This year, I was reading about it. iOS 17.
Mhm.
That's gonna be the highlight amongst other things.
iOS 17, you said?
Yeah.
What did you hear about it?
I think they're going to further optimize it for iPad OS and Mac OS as well.
Hmm.
So it's going to be more streamlined across all devices. So if you're someone like me, and don't be surprised, I'm not a Mac person, but that helps someone like me really get into that ecosystem as well.
Apple's upcoming Worldwide Developers Conference is expected to be one of the biggest yet. After years of rumors and leaks, Apple could finally take the wraps off its mixed reality headset. Now, guys, this has been a rumor for how many years now? I think since 2019, 2020. Something to do with glasses on your head and you being able to see a bunch of different stuff, which is pretty freaking cool if you ask me. Now, it's not just a VR headset as we see. It's apparently going to be VR and AR, augmented reality and virtual. So very big difference between the two. Um, very, very exciting. And let's see what we can find on the Apple headset here. Entering the company new product. Apple's mixed reality headset is expected to be the biggest announcement this year's WWDC. Now, what do you guys think about this headset? Do you think Apple can pull it off? Because if you look at today's market, the VR headsets have been kind of a big fail. I mean, you got MetaQuest, you got HTC with their Vive VR headsets, and nothing seems to be really prominent in today's uh, market. So why? Because I find them to be way too big, and they're kind of heavy on your head, and I just don't see much of a use for it. I tried to use one, and I didn't like them personally. What do you guys think Apple can do differently with this VR headset? And knowing Apple's history with releasing new products, could we have the same expectations as we did with the iPad, as we did with the Apple Watch, as we did with the iPhone, being all number one products within their categories? Amr?
Yeah, I think Apple will take its time to enter into the market with a new product because they spend time refining it. They spend time understanding what the consumer wants. Apple is a company that approaches with the why. They always go in with why do we want to create a product, not with the what. And because they have this approach, they might be later. They might be late to the party. They might come in late, but their product is so refined that even if you go back a few years up until when we didn't have anything other than wired headphones. There were some other companies like Bose and Sony that had wireless headsets, but it really took off after the AirPods. And it was such a refined product that if you look at it today, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So they take their time. They try to understand what consumers really want. They refine it, and then they bring it to market.
Yeah, that's why you don't see Apple releasing the Fold, being the first company to release the Fold. Because if we bring it back to Samsung, for example, they had so many issues with the Fold that it kind of was a little bit embarrassing. But you got to give it up to them. They're the ones that take risks and release everything first. But Apple is always the one to learn from learn from other companies' mistakes, tweak them, and make them better, and make them potentially the leaders in the market. Samir, you got any words?
Yeah, I agree with Omar as well. Apple has always been a company that waits and sees what's going on in the market. They study the market before they introduce a product. They don't rush anything to market, and they're really known for their quality. The quality of the product is absolutely the best, and this is why
100%.
it still is the number one company. I believe personally, the tech company uh, in the world. So I think with this new headset that's coming out, I think there's going to be something unique about it because that's what Apple does. It always creates something unique, which kind of stands out. And that's why whenever something comes out, you see lineups outside Apple stores. So I think they know what they're doing.
Yep, that is absolutely true. If I can describe Apple in one word, easy, premium, very premium. All of the product they make super premium. MacBooks, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches. They just know how to make really good product. It doesn't only look good, but its ecosystem is phenomenal. That's why in our business we only use Apple. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Apple out there, and they're more Android, but that's fine. We can agree to disagree, but I respect your end. Let's keep it going. What else do we have going on WWDC on next week or in
Actually,
next week? So I know there's big, big talks on an all new MacBook Air 15-inch. Now, 15-inch on a MacBook Air, I think, like right now, I'm personally using a MacBook Air, the M2. I love it. But the biggest flaw for me with the MacBook Airs has been its size. I'm more of a 15-inch type of guy. But
you haven't wanted to try the MacBook Pro
yeah,
because of the convenience of an Air,
absolutely.
and
The MacBook Air is just way lighter.
it's way lighter. It's for the larger audience.
And its price point is just so affordable compared to the pros. And I would definitely definitely be leaning towards a 15-inch MacBook Air. Now,
I pulled up a article on what people know technically about what has been said about the MacBook Air 15-inch.
uh-huh.
So I'll pull up the article right now.
So what do we got here? Sizing. The 2022 version of the MacBook Air measures in 13.6 inches. So at 13.6 inches. So 15-inch version would be considerably larger. That is absolutely true. If it would be sized between 14 and 16 inches, MacBook Pro models, and it would be the largest version of the MacBook Air to date. Analyst Ross Young believes the MacBook Air will feature 15.5-inch display, putting it closer to the 16-inch MacBook, closer 16-inch MacBook than the 14-inch model. Okay. Design, 15-inch MacBook Air is expected to use same general design. You get that idea over there. What kind of screen are they using? Are they still sticking to the expected to include the mini LED or ProMotion display? ProMotion would be great. With those features limited to the MacBook Pro models. Nice. And obviously, everybody talks about the chips. It's probably going to stick to the M2. You can't release, a 15-inch with an M3 chip when you still have product that still are using M1, such as the Mac Studio, right? Mac Studio still has the M1 Ultra, the M1 Max. It doesn't make sense in their and the way that with the way Apple likes to release their product. I definitely see them sticking with the M2, and because I find M2 is still super powerful, and I don't see a need for an M3 just yet. But we'll see what happens. You guys have any?
Yeah, I
any
think something that's going to draw a lot of people towards the 15-inch is obviously going to be the bigger battery. And with an M2 chip and a bigger battery, there's so much potential for students and offices, small offices,
Yeah.
even medium-sized enterprises to be moving over to something like this. So I think it's a really smart move to bridge the gap between the Air and the Pro in more ways than just processor and whatnot.
Yeah,
So
I get-
I'm happy for it, and I know I said I'm not a Mac guy, but
Yeah.
this might be my first
Can I
Mac.
ask you a personal question?
Sure.
You're an Apple enthusiast. You have an Apple Watch Ultra. You got the 14 Pro Maxes. I'd rather say he got multiple 14 Pro Maxes. He has one in every color, and he likes to mix and match them. Believe it or not, he's that type of guy. He's one of a kind. And the one thing that I never understood is why no MacBooks? Can you elaborate on that?
Okay. When I was when I was in university, I was trying to figure. I wasn't a great student. So when it came for the need of a computer, I took my sister's old laptop. That was a Windows, probably an HP or something. Probably the most robust, compact, or HP that I had for the 4 years that I was studying. It reminded me of the fact that I had to do my assignments and I had to study, so I wasn't really a fan. My phone was the only one thing that took me away from studying, so never really gave it a shot. Outside of that, I think it's more about spending time on the platform to understand how it's different from iOS on the phone. But I think as the years pass, they're bridging the gap between the experience on your phone and on your computer, and that's where I see myself.
Right. I
Yeah.
know. I know, Samir. You've used probably a lot of computers in your day. And how do you find Apple to be different from other PCs from back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day, I mean, we're going back to the early 90s, this is when we just had desktops, that was, and then I remember the first laptop I saw was in 1993, and it had Windows on it, and I was like, wow.
Didn't they use Macs at your school, in your high school? Or your
Actually, the
college?
first Mac, the first Mac I saw was in my high school back in 1988. So
Is it that big box?
it was a small one. It was original Mac,
Oh, for
little one, with the floppy disk.
nice.
It really didn't do much, and I really wasn't interested in it back then. But most of my career, my life, I've been exposed to both the PC and the Mac, and I always thought the PC was originally I thought the PC was the way to go, but since I've been in this business for the last 5 years, I've seen that the Mac definitely is something I feel that I should have started using way back, but it's never too late. And I think it's just the ecosystem again. Comes back to the ecosystem and just the way everything works so seamlessly. And so I think the new MacBook Air, the 15-inch MacBook Air is definitely going to be a hit. As Umar was talking about with students, it's the size, it's also the weight. So I think you combine these two elements, I think it's gonna be pretty good in the market. So
Yeah, one thing that I would like to add that I would actually like to see in the new MacBook Airs. I love the MacBook Air. I have one in my hand right now. Beautiful MacBook, but it still only has two USB Type C ports. The one thing that I really enjoyed about the 15-inch or the 16-inch and the 14-inch MacBook Pros is you got access to the HDMI cables, SD cards, I believe. Is that correct? Do we have actually, do we have the SD card slot on the MacBook Pro 16-inch you have in front of you there?
I believe so. I think this slot. I'm not too familiar with it,
Anyways,
but yeah.
yeah, it's just way more, convenient than having a big block sticking out with all the additional ports. So hopefully, because it's a little bit bigger, they can add some more additional ports. Obviously, a bigger battery, which is always great, and a bigger screen size. Looks like something I'd be looking forward to, and I'd definitely consider getting one. And apparently, they might be releasing some extra new colors. Do we have any news on that over here?
It's just saying naming, launch date, and the chip. There's no reference to
Yeah.
any colors yet.
Yeah, I know. I know with the MacBooks, they always keep it very subtle with the colors. But one color that I'd really love to see is a midnight green. Definitely a green guy. Um,
Have they ever done colors for the MacBook Pros and Airs, or is this their?
this no, they
It's
they
all
never.
primarily
This
silver.
this year would be probably the most prominent. They released the Starlight. They released the matte black,
Oh, nice.
silver, and space gray. Silver and space gray have always been staples in their MacBook lineup. Recently, in 2021 they released the new iMacs, 24 inches. They released the new
Yeah, those had
what
colors.
do you got?
Yeah.
Blue, green, yellow, pink, everything across the board,
Yeah.
the whole rainbow.
I've seen MacBooks in gold and rose gold,
Oh
and
yes,
pink.
yes,
Yeah.
rose gold and pink. Those are
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
I've seen
staples
those
in the
too.
MacBook Air. So
You could expect them
I
to
guess
come
just the
with
Pro
something.
models they kept it very very simple. But for the Airs, they should include a little cool
Like
midnight
maybe a
green.
red one or a blue one. That would be kind of cool.
Mr. CEO of Apple.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's get midnight green, huh? How about that? All right. Let's get going. What do we got here? We got the all new updated iOS 17.
I'm looking forward to iOS 17.
What have you heard about it?
Uh, Again, refinements, more than anything else. Even iOS 16 has a lot of Easter eggs that we don't know about. We're now 8 months, 7 months in. I'm on the beta program as well. So as soon as it's out and it's in testing, at least one or two of my iPhones are on the next beta. So what I hear is, and again, I've just done my independent reading on this, and that says that there might be an additional lens that supports astrophotography, and
would be cool.
and iOS 17.
What's astrophotography? Can you elaborate
So
on
it's
that?
it's basically the lens, the periscope lens on the Samsung series, the S21 Ultra, 22 Ultra, and 23 Ultra. Now that is really amazing, and you get
Okay,
those
cool.
amazing moonshots.
Nice.
Essentially, iPhone wants to bring it to the iPhone, but in an
Oh.
iPhone way. So
I
I
heard
think
some like rumors behind the Samsung that it's kind of a conspiracy that they,
AI, they're
you know
using
what I'm
AI
saying?
to
Yeah,
refine.
to refine the image. Do you think
Um,
Apple's gonna take the same route, or do you think they're gonna kind of switch it up?
I think refinements can only take you so far. There's a lot of editing that goes into a photo before you actually get the final output. But I think it's overdue. One of the big upsells on these Samsung phones for the last few years has been that lens that allows you to take those photos. So I think once it comes to iPhone, it's just going to beat everything out of the water.
Oh yeah, they're gonna blow it out the water for sure.
Hey, Akshay, you don't mind if I get access to the screen here? I want to pop something up.
Yeah, no worries.
I found something interesting here about the iOS 17 here. What do we got here? Accessibility features. Now, you might be looking at this and you're like, what is that? That looks very, very simple, very, very simplistic. So, what they're doing here is creating a very simple platform meant for people that don't typically use their phone much, just for the basic applications such as music, calls, messages, photos, cameras, and maybe some other miscellaneous apps. And I think this is more targeted for people that potentially have a hard time seeing small icons, maybe seniors or people that have bad eyes. I think it's an interesting concept, and I love what they're doing here with the shapes. I love the shapes. I love the simplicity. I've always loved Apple for its simplicity, and I think this is definitely a cool feature. Even for somebody like my mom, when she you know, magnifies all of her text. It just looks like such a mess. So Apple never really paid too much attention to simplifying its platform. And if you can, create an application where everything is easily as accessible as it shows up to be here, I think that would be phenomenal. Yeah, based on what I see here, what do we got? iOS 17 accessibility features. Luckily for us, Apple's additions to the iPhone's accessibility feature are already public, which is true. I've heard about this before, probably sometime last week, and I think it's a phenomenal addition to the new iOS. Additions this year include improved text-to-speech tool, the option to train your iPhone to have digitalized copy of your voice. Ooh, that sounds very interesting. A lot of AI stuff coming out. A point and
That's kind of
speak
creepy though.
feature.
Digitalized copy of your voice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Did you,
weird.
did you hear about what Google recently released? I
What?
wish we could put up a video of that. Can you put up a video of that?
Okay.
So put up Google's video. Google calling hair salon.
Google calling hair salon. Okay.
Yeah, search it
I've
up on
seen
YouTube. Yeah, you saw that?
I've seen
Just
that.
look how creepy this stuff is. I think this is phenomenal.
Yeah, we're going to talk about AI in a bit, but I think the implications of what it can do have both pros and cons.
Which one is it?
Yeah, but I think yeah, that's a good clip right there.
As I said earlier, our vision for our assistant is to help you get things done. It turns out a big part of getting things done is making a phone call. You may want to get an oil change schedule, maybe call a plumber in the middle of the week, or even schedule a haircut appointment. We think AI can help with this problem. So let's go back to this example. Let's say you want to ask
the point
Google
where they're
to
actually
make
gonna
you a
make a call. Is it
haircut
happening right
appointment
now?
on
Yeah, right
Tuesday
here.
between 10.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Mm-hmm.
Just amazing. Perfect. How perfect.
It's crazy.
At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks. Great. Have a great day. Bye.
Amazing.
Now,
Can't tell the difference.
keep in mind that this was uploaded a few years ago. This is not from this year or
Approximately
last
5 years
year.
ago, that's what it's saying.
5-year-old clip. So imagine,
Really?
yeah,
This was 5 years ago.
imagine how far this technology has come.
Wow.
I don't know if I'm like talking to you or your AI clone these days.
Yeah. Very
You can literally
interesting
clone
stuff.
yourself nowadays.
Yeah, AI is getting it, taking it to another level. Especially here, all of these new songs using other rappers' voices. It
Yeah.
just sounds so real, and it's like, man. Anyways, I don't want to get too off topic here. Let's continue moving. What do we got here? What are some of the other features of the iOS 17?
One thing I'm really looking forward to is playing around with Dynamic Island a little bit more, especially now that it's going to get optimized across all devices, pro and non-pro models.
Yeah.
More apps supporting it, more to do with it because they really celebrated this last year. So really looking forward to what's going to come, and I'm very confident that they're going to optimize Dynamic Island for iOS 17.
Yeah. Not quite the single punch hole that we wish for, but I think this is good enough.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever use the actual Dynamic Island? I personally don't like the name too much, but I haven't really found a use for it. I think it's cool. It's a unique feature, but I haven't really found myself using it quite often. How do you use it?
I would say I use it quite a bit, especially when I'm in the gym. I'll flip through my music. I'm getting a phone call. I can always play around with it. Doesn't take up the entire real estate on my screen. That's really cool. I appreciate that. Other than that, like it really tells me, hey, like your AirPods are charging or you've connected to something in a more uh, fluid manner as opposed to what it was in the past where you would get the icon in the middle of your screen and that would take away basically 2 seconds. And I know it's not a lot, but it really disrupts that. So it's really good. It's a good introduction. Is it a feature in itself? I would say no, but it's really good to have. And I think with the new software, looking forward to how they would optimize it.
Absolutely, I like
Now,
that.
is this something new to? Doesn't Samsung have something similar to this, where
The
the
thing
display is like at the top and it's more like
it is,
accents?
Samir, it's how Dynamic Island is different is the island is embedded in the phone, so to speak. It's speaking to you versus Samsung. I'm not saying it glitches, but there's a delay. You can tell that there's a delay in terms of how and when you interact with it. And I have a Samsung phone right here. Really nice phone. But again, if I am watching content again on this screen and I open it up and go to the main screen, we are now almost a year into this product and it still will glitch. I will still not have a full screen view or there will be a delay. So I think that's really well done again on Apple's part. Yeah.
No, I like. You're right. It's very. It's there, but it's not intrusive.
Correct.
And I think it's just at the eye level, so you can see it. It's quick. I mean, I use it for the same thing. When I put my iPods on, I see right there. It gives me some sort of estimate as to how much battery is left. Um, and yeah, I mean, with Spotify, I mean, it's really small, but you know that something's going
Right.
on.
Right.
But yeah, but like you said, I mean, with the new update, I think there's a lot of room, and I think we're gonna see some major improvements.
And if what they're saying is true, if the physical buttons disappear off of the iPhone and they go into haptics, I think Dynamic Island will play a key role in providing that experience to the end user.
That's a very good point. You know, I was actually on Twitter the other day, and I was saw something that Mark Gurman posted. You guys know Mark Gurman?
Yeah.
Uh, very big, very big player in the tech world. We get all of the latest news from him. He's one of the first people to mention it. But something interesting that I saw he posted. Actually, can you go on Mark Gurman's Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh, popped up something over here. So he posted this about a couple days ago. He said Apple will start accepting trade-ins of the Mac Studio, 13-inch M2 Mac Air, and a 13-inch M2 MacBook Pro on June 5th, the same day as WWDC. So, some interesting things to uncover over here and unfold is that typically Apple only starts to accept trades on older models. So, if it's the current models, they're not going to accept trade-ins on those. So, this is kind of like a little bit of a sign on that Apple is potentially releasing a new Mac Studio that nobody even heard about. There's always this new, unique update that nobody's expecting, and at every Apple event, most of the time. And I think this year is going to be obviously the 15-inch MacBook Air, the VR headsets, and guess what? The M2 Mac Studio. I think that is something that is already a little bit behind since it's still M1. We're already talking about M3. Definitely exciting. I'm personally using the M1 Max right now for my business, and I love it. I can't wait for the Mac Studio M2 to come out. Some extra performance and power. Definitely seems exciting. I know you don't typically use Mac stuff, but what's your opinion on Apple potentially releasing a new Mac Studio? Do you think it's about time?
I think so. And if I'm not using it, doesn't mean others aren't. How Apple has got me, and this is the beauty of it. The iPhone 3 was the first iPhone that I ever came across, and today, fast forward all these years, I've got an iPhone, I've got an iPad, I've got AirPods, the watch. I mean, I'm probably missing products here, and Mac is the only one. And it's only a matter of time before you'll see me with a Mac, or I'll be asking you for one
Of course,
in a special color with Apple
slowly
Care Plus.
upgrading.
I have a question for all you guys. What items would you like to see come out, even though it might not come out? What items would you like to see come out this year, like that you're hoping for?
This year in general,
This year in general, on Monday, like if they release anything, what are you
15 Ultra.
hoping for? The 15 Ultra.
that's definitely coming out. I would like to see a black edition of the Apple Watch Ultra and
Black
the
edition.
AirPods Pro 3, hopefully.
Nice, nice.
That's something I look forward to.
Yeah. Any things
Samir?
that you guys are looking forward to?
I can't think of anything right now,
Okay.
top of my head.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, it's the iPhone being released every year is always the highlight of any event.
Do you think it's going to be similar to the iPhone 14, or do you think they're going to make a drastic improvement on the formula?
I think it's a very big number. The iPhone 15, it's like an iPhone X. Would I say they're going to go for a complete redesign? No, but I think they are going to introduce potentially a new name, the iPhone 15 Ultra, which might be a spin-off of the original Max, or it might be an actual Ultra version, meaning it's titanium, has some more
That
additional
would be sick if it
features.
was titanium.
Yeah.
It's more sturdy of a phone. That would be kind
Yeah,
of cool.
maybe some extra capabilities with the new VR headsets that's coming out. I don't know. It's very interesting to see where Apple is going to go forward. I think technology is moving very, very fast, and we're going to have a lot of exciting things coming out in the next couple of years. This year, I would definitely say the new iPhone and an updated Apple Watch Ultra. I think it's getting a little bit boring now, a little bit outdated.
What would you like to see in the new updated Ultra that you haven't
Definitely
seen?
some new colors.
Okay.
Love the battery life. Maybe a little bit more might be great. Never like the always on display. I personally don't use it, so I think they can, create some more space in creating something a little bit more useful. Potentially,
Would you like to see different sizes in it?
You know-
'Cause
you know what
They
I
only
would-
have a 49
you know what I would
millimeter.
really like in an Apple Watch Ultra? An actual speaker you can use. So I understand you can use a speaker, but I want to play music. I want to play music. I want to be able to do whatever I got to do on my Apple Watch Ultra, and I want to be able to listen to it. Right now, we can only hear things through the AirPods. I think if they added that additional feature, that would be great.
Everyone would be talking to their watch.
I wouldn't mind. I don't know. I haven't tried this. I don't know if this is a thing, but I wouldn't mind connecting my watch to my AirPods either.
Mhm.
Really, I wouldn't need my phone when I'm out for a run or I'm taking a hike. Or it really would be so much simpler.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't even mind a little bit of a bigger screen. Let's go 51. What do you think? I'm okay with it.
I think 49 is pretty big, man. For my wrist,
Yeah,
pretty
I
big.
guess it depends on the person. I guess
I was
they gotta
looking
make
for a
something generic.
44 mm.
Yeah, they got to make something
watch.
generic that fits, most people.
Yeah,
They only came
exactly.
out with one size, so.
Yeah.
But that's that. I
Well,
think
I just want to add one more thing about Apple and how it transitions into a new line. They always seem to, like with what happened with the iPhone 13 Pro and the iPhone 14. It's just like everything is so similar. They've just changed the name, and I mean that's just marketing genius, in my opinion. The way they're able to transition from one version to another and just keep that hype going and just keep people interested. But just by changing the name, just changing the
Yeah.
exact same phone. I don't know if anybody else has done this. I'm not sure if Samsung has ever done this.
They're
where-
doing it now.
Yeah,
They're trying to keep the design the same, and I hate it.
but it's a genius move.
It may be, but again,
It's
how
kind of
refined is the
deceiving
product?
as well. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a bit deceptive, but
Yeah.
I mean, people like most people just look at iPhone 14. Okay, they're not going to go into the specs, and
Right.
they're not going to try and like actually do a direct comparison. So yeah, I mean, this is one thing I find that Apple is really good at.
Right.
yeah, well, anything that Apple typically releases in its first lineup, you got the first ever iPhone. People initially said, we don't need an iPhone. We don't need a phone with a full screen. We like our buttons. We like our Blackberries. We like our new Nokias. And then Apple came out and released the iPhone, and they took the industry by storm, completely destroyed everybody. Then what else did we get come out? The iPads. Nobody said they needed a tablet. Now look at it. Everybody has a tablet.
AirPods.
AirPods.
one.
Oh, the AirPods. Oh, we definitely don't need something that's wireless. I could just plug in my headphones. I want my earphones to come in my box.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy them separately, let alone spend another $200 on them. Now people are buying them just to wear them as a fashion, a fat piece of fashion. You know, it's very interesting. And then lastly,
Yeah, that is how technology has become integrated into fashion.
oh, absolutely,
You know,
100%.
very
I mean,
interesting.
Hummer is a prime example here. He likes to have a couple of phones, and he likes
The
to mix and
fashion
match the
guy.
colors. But I respect that. You know, everybody has to have their personal phone and their business phone.
Yeah.
And I think I like having mines. I typically go with the graphite and the deep purple. That's currently my mix right now. What's your favorite mixture?
I'm doing Deep Purple Pro Max with a Deep Purple Pro.
Nice. And
Other days,
I see a fold there. What color is the fold?
it's the green one.
Can we show it? Can we show it on camera?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you got there?
It's a green Fold 4.
That's a gray green.
Gray green.
Yeah.
And obviously it's got Samsung Care Plus.
Oh yeah, of course. That's the most important thing
And
for
I
her.
just
For
put
him.
a skin on, a D brand skin on my 14 Pro Max in D or Space Black. But again, D brand's not a sponsor for this video yet.
Yet.
And now to our sponsors. All right. One thing that I don't want to miss out on is the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
The Apple Watch is literally the #1 selling watch in the world right now. Nobody said we needed an Apple Watch or a watch at all. You know, we're coming from Fitbits and Samsung watches. You know, when Apple released their Apple Watch, took it by storm. And this is a perfect example of what Apple is trying to do with the VR headsets. It's going to be their first addition to the lineup. And, you know, Apple knows how to take the industry by storm. And I have a feeling that it's going to be something different. It's going to change the way we live our lives. And it could potentially make a lot of more it can bring a lot more convenience and efficiency into our lives. We'll see how what Apple is going to do here, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to present next week. Akshay, I think it's time. Maybe let's play some trivia. What do you guys think?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. So, the interesting part about this podcast, we like to finish things off with a little bit of tech trivia. Akshay is the one that's going to be asking us the questions. We don't know what kind of questions we're going to be asked. And the funny thing is, he doesn't know either because we're going to be asking ChatGPT to ask us to create these questions with the answers. Now, knowing ChatGPT, a lot of the times it's very wrong, but we'll see what happens, and let's give it a shot. Also, we don't want to see the questions on the screen.
Oh, I gotta get used to that.
Yeah, so he's
I'll make it too easy.
well, he's literally saying on screen, give me 5 tech trivia questions on Apple products. And you can literally see the screen on the big TV here. So, all right, what do we got going?
Question 1.
All right,
In
so
what year? I don't know if you guys know this. In what year? What was the first iPhone released?
okay,
2007.
okay,
What's your guess?
I would say 2008.
Okay, Michael.
I'm gonna go with 2005.
Okay, perfect. The first iPhone was released in 2007. So Omar was correct.
I knew it was 2007, but I wanted to be a little bit different. But I give him that. I give him that point.
I got that
That
one.
was nice. That was nice.
All
I
right.
thought it was 2007 as well, but I just wanted to,
Yeah.
I wanted our guest to feel, you know.
Yeah. 2. Which Apple product is known for its distinctive butterfly keyboard mechanism? This is actually a harder question.
Sorry, Akshay. I actually had an idea, you know, because this is our first podcast. I think there's another way we can do this, and this is
Okay.
actually an idea that I did see one of our fellow podcasters do. Was by the name of Waveform Podcast. Very good podcast. They actually do some trivia as well, but they actually write their answers on a whiteboard, and it's flipped. So that
Hold
way,
on to it. Yeah.
I see what you're
so
saying.
this way, I don't have to hear his answer. I don't have to have maybe I might copy his answer, but now we could just write it on the whiteboard, flip it around, and we're
Yeah.
gonna see everybody's answers. This way, we can actually get genuine first response, and we'll see who's actually right. So, Akshay, I'm gonna let you continue.
Okay. This is a harder question, so I don't know if you guys will get this, but which Apple product is known for its distinctive butterfly keyboard mechanism?
Can we Google it?
I don't think you can Google it. I can find you
Distinctive
butterfly mechanism.
MacBook.
MacBook 2016,
MacBook. Which years?
16.
Yeah, he's probably right.
There's a range. There's a range.
If there's
So,
a range, I'd
tw-
probably say 15 through 17 maybe. They
Uh,
changed it in
You know what? I'm
2017.
gonna
You're
take a
quite
shot
close,
here.
you're qu-
2016 to 2019. Samir.
2017 to 2019.
So everyone was actually quite close on the 2019, but it was 2015 to 2019.
Woo!
Got it.
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm interested. 2015.
Yeah. So from the years, the MacBook Pro and the MacBook Air, from the years 2015 to 2019, it featured the butterfly keyboard mechanism.
Yeah, the only reason I know that 2015.
Butterfly keyboard. Pretty sure it was started from 2016.
You could have used one of those. You could use one of those lifelines. Call a family member.
Call a friend.
Call a friend. Yeah.
I'm just gonna call him.
So it says the components underneath the key resembles butterfly wings with a hinge in the center rather than overlapping like a pair of scissors. Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay.
All right. Next question. We're going to do 5. So we're on the third question now.
Okay.
So the next question is, what was the name of the first tablet computer released by Apple? And what?
I'll go first. If you guys don't mind, we'll switch it up a little bit. I'm going to say the iPad Pro 9.7 inch. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Released in 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. That's your answer?
I don't know why I went with
Very close.
2010 or 2000. Yeah, something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, damn. I see what we're doing here. The first tablet ever. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about
Yeah, the first
iPad
tablet
Pro,
ever.
iPad
Ever.
Pro.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this
If
would
you
be
want
the-
to redo your answer, you can.
Well, this would be the Gen 1, which we haven't dealt with that model in how many years. That's the one with the fat port. What do you call that port?
Yeah, the one that has a trade-in value of $5 today.
Pretty much. Actually, you would have to pay me
true.
money to take it.
Yeah.
That's hard.
The first tablet
Uh,
ever
I-
released by Apple.
I'm gonna say 2012. That sounds reasonable to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say 2011.
2011. Okay. So you said 2011, you said 2011, you said 2012. So it was actually released in 2010.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So
So we got 2 more questions. This one's actually quite a good one.
iPad 2010. That was a big.
That was a
release.
big year
First
for
gen-
Apple, man.
First
Big year.
generation ever.
Yep.
Something that probably doesn't even turn on anymore.
Are you guys ready for the next question?
Yep.
Let's go.
Okay. Which Apple product was the first to feature a Retina display?
That's a good question. I like that. First, I think I know the answer. I'm gonna let Samir go first.
iPhone 10.
Okay.
I want to say iPhone 6.
The first Apple product or iPhone phone?
The first Apple product
Oh,
Okay.
to feature a Retina display.
we're talking iPods here.
That is very true. I didn't think about that, but I'm gonna take a shot at something else.
Go for it.
I'm gonna say the MacBook Pro 2012.
Okay. So all your answers, none of you guys were close, but it's the iPhone 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
The iPhone 4.
The Retina display.
iPhone.
I don't understand what exactly
iPhone 4 release date.
released it.
2009? No, 10?
June
10.
24th, 2010.
2010.
So, and then what did I say? MacBook Pro. Oh, okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
MacBook Pro 2012 was probably first. What's that?
Computer.
First MacBook with Retina display. It was 15-inch MacBook Pro released in 2012. So I was right at least on the MacBook side. But yeah, that's that. Do we have
We got one more
we
question.
got one more question.
This is like a really
Let's
good
see if
question.
we can get this one right.
What was the name of the first Apple computer released in 1976?
I can make that. Okay, I'm gonna say very simply. I'm gonna say Apple One.
I'm going to say Apple 1 too. I have no idea, but I think that sounds about right.
I'm trying to remember.
You might, yeah, you're the closest to it, so you should know.
Macintosh.
Good answer, but it was called the Apple I.
Oh.
Which stands for Apple One.
Apple One, yeah.
Yeah.
So Apple I,
Apple
Apple
version
One.
1, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And you might ask, how do I know this? Actually, there was an article that got released. I think it was like 2 months ago or something like that I read it. Somebody on eBay posted the first original Apple One, and I think it's still currently up for sale. I think it's going for like $2 million American dollars, something crazy like that. Obviously, it's an antique piece now. You even see things like the Apple, Apple One, Apple iPhone number one, first gen, being sold in sealed boxes for north of 35,000 American. We're in Canada here, so we use Canadian dollars. I understand a lot of our viewers are probably going to be, referring to American dollars. But yeah, it's just crazy how far Apple antiques can go in terms of prices, and it's very interesting. There's obviously not that many available, and I believe that Apple's very first product ever was the Apple One. They started off with the computer, so this is the first product ever, and there's only a handful that are still left in the market. So obviously prices will be high, but still very interesting.
That's it.
That's it. I'd like to say this was very fun, very
Was.
very fun first podcast. I personally learned a lot. I want to be honest with the people watching. This is obviously something that's very uncomfortable for a lot of us because it's the first time we're being in front of cameras, and I'd like to say that we're just stepping out of the comfort zone today, and we're very very happy that we all came together and completed our first podcast, and we're looking forward to next week. And does anybody want to chime in on how you guys liked the podcast today?
I really enjoyed it. I really did. It was a very fun experience to
Yeah.
discuss with you guys and
Yeah,
all that.
and give it up to Akshay. Akshay has never done anything like this before. He has a background in camera stuff, but this guy was phenomenal today.
And I really appreciate you, Michael, inviting me to help out with the
Absolutely,
podcast.
absolutely. We wouldn't have it any other way. You have a very great attitude, and
Thank
you
you.
really know what you're doing, and you're putting in the work, and I really like to see that. And I think we have a great team here. Amar, I really appreciate you coming by and
Thanks for having me.
joining the podcast. And looking forward to episode number 2. Amar, would you like to chime in a little bit?
No, I'm really happy. I think this was fun.
Nice.
It's a good refresher on a lot of things that we kind of forget about, and it's also really talks about what the future holds. So I'm excited, and the next few months, from a tech perspective, are going to be really exciting. So
For sure.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a very new experience for me as well. And like Michael was saying, this is our first time. We're gonna feel a little bit of the nervousness, but I think as we started talking, things got better, things settled down, and I think there was a good flow.
Yeah, I
So-
think we found our flow towards like the middle
There
of
was
the
definitely
podcast.
yeah, and I think we're gonna build on that next week. And yeah,
Practice makes perfect.
yeah, congrats everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Omar, again.
thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And lastly, I'd like to say one more thing. And that's a wrap.
There we go.
I like that. I like that. I like that.